G'day, we're in New Zealand in the winterless Northland flying a Cresco on Topdressing ops. Jump on board and follow along on a load.
That's the airstrip we're working off today. In the background, Kaiwi Lakes. Looks all nice and clear, a little bit of a headwind on takeoff even. How about that?
We're doing the airstrip inspection as we fly overhead. This is the 7S's and an E. That's size, shape, slope, surface, surrounds, stock, sun, and elevation. If you like your acronyms, this will be an easy one for you to remember. It's SET.
As we come around on final here, you might see right on the end of the strip, either side of it, there's a couple of power lines. And we go under those. No, I'm only joking. They go underneath us. On the ground, a little bit of beta. Go around the new compacted dirt here, spin around. Beautiful. So I'll try and zoom us in there. So you can see the one wire there. Oh, there's my finger. The other wire in the middle there. So they've kindly buried the wire there. I'm pretty sure when they put the wires in, they must have buried it. There's no way you can work off this strip otherwise, but it is a magic spot here. Windsock, a little bit of a headwind on takeoff. Just what we want, and we can fall off the end anyway. The block we're doing is off to the right over these trees here. That's us. Did some yesterday. That little spot there. How can I show you better? See yesterday's runs going this direction, and I've changed up here. Go parallel with this little block here, and I'm going to do the same here. Be slightly faster that way. That's the plan anyway. Fingers crossed. Righty-ho. My torque here, I go to about 49. We can go up to 57, 58, I think. Airborne off the end. Raise our flaps. Start bringing us around. Bring our power back. Then our prop back, we bring it back to 92%. That's about 2,000 RPM, a little bit quieter. Actually, we can put in a little bit more power there too. Turn the squelched. That's a bit better. Now I'm doing a squeeze pattern on the last of this block.
A squeeze pattern is where you do one run along one edge or boundary. You spin around and you go against the other edge, other far edge or boundary, and then you work your way progressively towards the centre. That's the squeeze pattern.
Wrong area. Neighbour's got a little bit there.
One reason for doing a squeeze pattern is because when you start with a heavy load, you do the widest turns, you progressively get lighter as you tip the load out, and your turns can then get tighter and easier.
Come around 100 knots, a couple of knots of flaps as we are a reasonably tight turn here. And raise our flaps. Line us back up. I can see the fence outside here, and you'll see our countdown. Boom, over, doors open. Checking our mirror, we're looking pretty honky-tonk. That's the end, close her up. Advance to the next run. Out and around. Couple of notches. Looking pretty good. Don't do what I did last time. There's our fence. Boom.
This is a light bar being used for guidance. On the right side is the meters offline, and I'm using the LEDs across the top for that visual guidance. The red vertical lights are showing we're outside the block, and they'll turn green when we're inside the block. And on the left is the current swath number.
The red light you can see, that's a stall warning. Looking pretty good here. Fence line open. Blowing pretty good. High analysis fertiliser. We've got the spreader on once again. The spreader device that gives us a better spread. Hence the name. Without this, it'd essentially fall straight out of underneath the plane, but with the spreader on, it pushes it out that much further. The aircraft is a little bit more economical and therefore saves the cost to the farmer. Fence open. Other fence line done. And the last run for this little squeeze. One thing that I could be doing different here, particularly on this turn, that wind was going from left to right as we were looking at it before, so I'm sort of turning into a tailwind now. That's not ideal, but sometimes it's more practical to do. Fence line. Other fence line coming up there, boom, done. Righty ho, so that's the area, that squeeze done. Now I want to, we'll climb up, we'll change our edge. Is there a setting that has line history? That's what we want. Previous line. That looks like it. Beautiful. We'll do a rudimentary racetrack here. Racetrack's where we go down one side, then up the middle, then back down by the other side, then back up the middle by the other one. Oh, that sounds like a terrible explanation.
Yes, it definitely is. What I'm trying to say is, once you know and have the boundary, you'll fly along one edge, one side, fly along there and mark it out, and that will become your reference line to which every other flying line is referenced off. This is referred to as an AB line. You'll then turn around and fly down the other side boundary and mark that as your C run or your C line, and your GPS will mark out how many swaths are in between your A, B and C run, and it's from here where you can really see the racetrack pattern or the name, where the name came from. Your next run will be beside the initial AB run, and then the GPS will find the middle run between there and the C, and you'll end up going down there and then back through until you're done. That's how we get the racetrack. We use the racetrack pattern because it gives us nice, even, wide turns. Though in this instance I'm doing what's called a quick track, where instead of doing the C run, I'm just going along one side and then turning back down the middle.
A little bit of mechanical turbulence about. Now we've got a main road just coming up here, so I'll shut off a little bit earlier. And now again we're turning into the tailwind here. I'll need to turn a little bit tighter, a bit more flap. We're going to pull through, overshot, compensate nice and smoothly, level out over the fence, open the doors. Next boundary off. Next boundary on. And off. Now we're doing the same turn here. But we're into wind, so we probably won't even need some flap here, I'd imagine. No, we don't. How about that? Coming up to the fence. Oop.
Some of you may have noticed this is a dual control aircraft, and we also fly from the right seat, which confuses a few people. We do that because it's a bit more comfortable to fly, a bit more natural sitting in the right seat, right hand's on the joystick, left hand on the power and dump lever.
Main road, shut off early. Give us a little bit more width. Coming around, here's a couple of notches, a little bit tighter. That's a bit better. Roll out, I can see the road. Over. Off. On. I think we are nearly empty there. I can just feel it in my handle. Not sure if you can see that in the camera, but just feels a little bit lighter to hold. Point level. See our fence. Open the doors. Now checking in our mirror. Yeah, it feels very light there. We're empty. Make sure it is. Head back to the strip, which, because I've set things up nicely, is in front of us. We're pretty much on our left face.
The ferry back to the airstrip is usually the quietest part of top dressing. You've got a few seconds to have a good look around, admire the view, quick glance at the gauges, and set yourself up for your approach to landing.
Bringing our power back. Start our turn. There we are, wings level. Touchdown, a little bit of beta.
Looks to be about 2.5 in the bin, I reckon.
Beauty, plus the one in the bucket.
Yeah, that's right, yep.
Oh, bang on, thank you. Open the lid, brakes on, flaps, clicker. This is a manual dump, so I've got my hand holding it, physically holding it down, just in case it can get banged open. Doesn't typically happen, but it's a little bit of a pain when and if it does. Looking back, the truck's getting out of the way, brakes off, shut the lid, stir the porridge. Here's right out, start feeding it.
Looking at the clock, it's a bit over a 10-minute turnaround per load, and that's fairly typical for low application, high analysis fertiliser. It's also quite dense and bulky, this fert, so we can't cart a typical full load, which is a bit over 2 tonne. We're limited to 1,300 kilos and our hopper is full. That's just about us.
Here comes the truck with the last load. Just a couple of 100 kilos. That's him up there. See the lid, that around bit, that's the lid that I'm holding up with the string. Getting out of the way. There goes the lid. He's gone. So am I. That's us all done. That's our area all coloured in. Looking pretty good. A little bit jaggedy in there because of the GPS. That's what I'm saying anyway. Yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one.